Welcome back to Adventures with Nubz.
What's up, guys?
We got Dakota, and yes, it says Urban Legend Tuesday. We had to reschedule it from yesterday to today, but it will be next Tuesday, every Tuesday at 8 p.m.
Yep.
8 p.m. every Tuesday. Next week is going to be on Dakota's channel.
Yep.
And we are going to be doing North Carolina and South Carolina. So, but yeah, tonight we are going to be talking about the top 7 urban legends of Virginia and West Virginia. And doing this information, there's actually 1, 2, 3 that is actually pretty decently close to me and Dakota. 2 of them is in Bedford, actually.
There's one that's literally 10 minutes from my darn house.
Yeah. But tonight we're going to start off with West Virginia. Before we start off, everybody having a good day. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day. And after this, y'all message me, leave a comment, tell me how we can do this better, because this is our first time and we're winging it tonight. We are winging it. But yeah. So, hey, Greg, Maria, David, everybody share it
Greg,
out.
Maria, David, Sling Blade, Gold Coast.
I'm going to share it out real fast.
And whoever else is in the chat.
Tonight's going to be a fun night.
Yep.
We'll probably do an hour and a half to 2 hour stream. Yep. And we might have an open panel after we get done where y'all can ask us some questions and all that.
Yep.
Depending on time, which I know, Dakota, you got school tomorrow?
I got a football game tomorrow. I'm going to bed early.
Yeah, you got the football game.
A varsity football game. My God. This thing. Oh, God, the game's going to be crazy tomorrow night. I ain't ready.
If you see Mr. Mosley, tell him I said was.
I seen him today. He was coaching track. They had track practice today.
That man don't like me.
Mr. Mosley, I'm not trying to be rude, but he done got fat.
How, really?
He done got fat. His darn stomach went from looking like a darn 6-pack to almost a freaking baseball.
I would not expect him to get fat. Hey, Patty.
He's the track coach, which...
Hey, Real Deal Hip Hop.
But what's up, Patty? Pendleton, Oregon Paranormal Society, Shonda, what's up? Whoever else.
So don't forget to
whoever else.
Don't forget to subscribe to Exploring with Dakota if you have it.
Yep. And I'll say this now. Once I hit 350 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away an extra set of dowsing rods.
Y'all hear that?
Because I have an extra set, and I will be giving them away to one lucky person.
So let's get held to 350. I'm about to drop this link. But yeah, we are going to start off with West Virginia urban legends. And
I'll tell you, these West Virginia urban legends are terrifying.
Yeah, you got back. We are going to do that. He's going to tell them all, and then we're going to go look and read backstory and see if we can find a video about it.
Yep.
Hey, Crystal. But yeah, so hey, BFF Deanna. So yeah, we are going to go there now. Dakota, You
Hold
ready?
on. Pendleton subbed to me, and I'm just subbing back.
Oh, thank you, Pops.
All right. Y'all ready to get started with some West Virginia? Good old countryside. I don't even know the nickname of West Virginia.
I will pin Dakota's link at the top so y'all can.
All right.
Out.
We're going to start off with number 7, The Legend of Dingus Tunnel.
Ooh.
The legend of Dingus Tunnel has it that the tunnel was built in 1892 for the Norfolk and Western Railroad, largely by African American and Chinese immigrant workers. Legend has it that residents of Dingus, West Virginia, who didn't take kindly to outsiders, used to hide in the hills just outside the tunnel and shoot any dark-skinned passengers aboard the train. No records were kept, but it's estimated that hundreds of black and Chinese workers died. In addition to the murders, workers also died during construction, and at least 2 trains collided on the tracks, causing more deaths. The tunnel has the reputation of being haunted by the souls that are perished there. Visitors have reported hearing organ music and a voice saying hi. According to the haunted history of the tri-state, one person even claims to have gotten a picture of a little ghost girl standing in the middle of the tunnel.
Ooh.
So that's number 7.
That sounds terrifying.
Number 6, the death and burial of Mamie Thurman. Oh, this one gets creepy. Thurman was found killed in Logan County, West Virginia on June 21st, 1932. Her throat was slashed ear to ear, and she was shot twice in the left side of her head. A local boy found her body in a blackberry patch. Her jewelry was found with her, which ruled out the possibility of a robbery being the motivation for the slaying. A handyman was eventually arrested and convicted of the murder. Mystery surrounds where she is buried and who actually killed her. Today, there have been many reported sightings of her ghost on 22 Mine Road in Logan County, West Virginia.
We haven't got to go to some of these places at some point. What's up, Eli?
Now we got number 5, The Legend of Screaming Jenny. Now, this one is massively a West Virginia popular urban legend. This one is probably the most popular around the West Virginia area. Story has it that Jenny, a poor woman with no family, lived in a shed along the railroad in Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. She barely had enough money to eat, and the shed stayed cold during the winter months. One day in late autumn, Jenny was drinking broth over a fire and trying to stay warm. She was so focused on the broth that she didn't notice a spark had flown up from the fire and caught her skirt on fire. Her skin started to burn. She leaped up and threw the rest of the broth onto the flames, but it did little to put it out. As she died, she ran screaming out of the shed and onto the train tracks as she looked for help. In her agony, she did not see the lights from the train's headlight as it rounded a bend and mowed her down. She was given a popular funeral and buried in the churchyard. People say that on the anniversary of her death, Jenny's burning ghost can be seen on the train tracks in flames. Many engineers have seen Screaming Jenny as she makes her desperate attempt to find help while her body burned.
Yeah,
I
that I've heard of that one.
Right. As we head to number 4. Oh, number 4, the infamous Greenbrier Ghost.
I've heard of this one. This one's pretty creepy.
Yeah. Ova Soners Hester's alleged ghost did. Wait a minute. Well, how many ghosts do you know of that helped solve a homicide case? Not many, but this is one of these ghosts. Elva Sona Hester's alleged ghost did just that, reportedly helping to solve her own homicide in 1897. She married Stribling Shoe in 1896. In 1887, she mysteriously passed. Despite the local custom in Greenbrier County, West Virginia, of letting the ladies of the town clean and dress her corpse, she handled all of it and behaved oddly at the funeral. Her mother, suspicious and grieving, prayed to learn the name of the culprit. She began to have nightly visions of her daughter's ghost, explaining that she had been slayed by her own husband. Her mother took the information to the local prosecutor, who then helped dig up the body. Through an autopsy, they learned that she had been attacked and strangled. The husband served trial and was convicted of murder.
Hey Kennedy, Kirkland, what's up, brother?
This one, number 3, the
Number 3.
Boyer House of Winfield, West Virginia.
These are the top 3.
Top 3, baby. Let's go. Paranormal investigators who are local to Winfield, West Virginia, have many stories about the Boyer House. Built by Captain John Boyer around the year 1841, after he passed, the house sat empty for multiple generations. According to the local legend, everyone who has been inside reports a general feeling of uneasiness, and some people have reported seeing a headless horseman from the Civil War
Yeah, Gary.
era roaming the premises. A headless horseman from the Civil War era roaming the premises. Wow. Okay. Number 2 is the infamous Mothman.
This is one that everybody, Matthew especially, probably knows about.
The Mothman is a cryptid that was spotted up in West Virginia in the 1960s and has allegedly appeared in other locations from ancient times to present day. Mothman is said to be the harbinger of misfortune or doom wherever it appears. Its first appearance in West Virginia dates to 1966 in Clendenin, West Virginia, when a man digging a grave saw a bird-like creature. That same year, it appeared to 2 young couples outside of a former TNT plant, where it was described by one of the men as being shaped like a man but bigger, maybe 6 or 7 feet tall, with big wings folded against its back. The Mothman was allegedly seen later that evening by a building contractor, who described the creature as having eyes like bicycle reflectors. Between 1966 and 1967, many people had Mothman sightings. In 1967, the Silver Bridge that connected Point Pleasant and West Virginia and Gallipolis, Ohio collapsed during rush hour traffic, killing 46 people. At the time of the collapse of the bridge seems to have been caused by, or at least foretold by, the Mothman. Mothman legends have also been tied to stories of run-ins with the men in black who are believed to be government spooks. And now, as we head to number one.
Number one.
Number one is one I've never even heard of, called the Flatwoods Monster. That is a picture of the Flatwoods monster right there.
Hang on.
That's a picture.
Oh, wow.
The Flatwoods Monster is an entity that haunts an area in Braxton County, West Virginia. Those who come into contact with it report supernatural encounters. It's known to roam the flatwoods with its long, stringy arms and makes everyone it comes in contact with sick as a dog. It first appeared in 1952 to a group of young boys playing outside at their elementary school. They witnessed what looked like falling bright light from the sky and quickly told their parents, who sent out an investigator. The adults then came into contact with the monster. It was taller than a man and had spade-shaped head, metallic dress, and glowing eyes. The investigators felt sick to their stomachs, experienced throat and nose swelling, and vomited for days after seeing the creature. Some people believe that the monster is extraterrestrial. Others blame exposure to toxic chemicals like mustard gas for the illness. That's going to wrap up West Virginia.
Yeah, Matt said he's heard of it. It's not a cryptid. It's more of an alien.
That will wrap up West Virginia's top 7 urban legends.
What's up, OG, my brother? Well, those are really good. I've heard of one or two of them, actually. These top 7 I got is a pretty good list. Like, some of them I didn't even know about, and some of them I actually knew about because 2 of them me and Dakota actually tried to find. We went to one of them. We went to our number 1 location that's on the list, but we tried to go to number 7, the one I'm about to talk about. And this one, it's supposed to be where me and Dakota went on Halloween night down 666, somewhere near there. But what I'm talking about is the 7 gates of hell. And nobody knows exactly where it is on 666. There's actually location saying it's in Franklin County. They're saying it's in Bedford County. So they really don't know exactly where it's at. But the story is there are 7 iron gates running a driveway off of it. And at the end, if you can make it that far, is a house where unspeakable things were inflicted upon African Americans. Regardless, nobody has been able to make it past Maria says she wants to go to 7 Gates of Hell with us.
Gold Coast? No, you do not want to go to 666. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, we'll explain that after this story, after this one. But you can't make it past nobody has made it past the 5th gate. All electronics cut off, your car's cut off, anything electronic or anything will cut off. And that's at the 5th gate. So, and there's also legends that there's an old man at the end of it with a gun waiting for you.
Shotgun at that.
Yeah, shotgun. So, it's something that I want to find, but on the other hand, I don't know.
What I've heard from many people is that the 3rd bridge, the very first bridge you cross coming from Kroger,
Yes.
Go down to the train tracks under that bridge, and there will be a little teeny tiny road that will lead up to 7 gates. And once you get to the seventh gate, there is a massive estate that's owned by whoever, but that whole road is supposed to be no trespassing,
Yeah.
according to what I've heard. But there is 7, is it metal or iron gates?
Iron Gate.
Iron gates.
Yeah,
So
7
7 iron gates. You get to the third one, you're supposed to see glowing red eyes. You get to the fifth one, like Nub said, all your electronics shut down. Get to the seventh one, you get that man in his 80s with a shotgun, and then if you can make it past him, which legend has it, no one has made it past the seventh gate, you will get to the estate where at the end of the
Hey,
7
beautiful
gates.
Milan. Yeah. But yeah, me and Dakota have tried to find it when we went on Halloween. Couldn't find it, but we was also not looking in the
But
right.
we also went at 3 a.m. and it was completely dark.
Yeah. Yeah. Hang on one second.
Second story, most of the stories I've heard they are actually iron. What I've heard, most stories they are iron.
Yeah. But our second one that I'm about to get to is the Vampire of Hollywood Cemetery in Richmond, Virginia. I've heard of this one a little bit, but I don't know too much about this one.
We want to go to that cemetery, but
Yeah, but hang on one second. The legend describes a bloody figure with pointed teeth and skin hanging from his bone, emerging from the cave-in from the Richmond Church Hill Tunnel cave-in in 1925, and running towards the James River. The figure was pursued until it disappeared in the mausoleum. Sorry if I said that wrong. Mausoleum. There we go. Of WW Pool in the Hollywood Cemetery. Research into the vampire legend revealed that one survivor did manage to escape the deadly cave-in, but far from a vampire. He was Benjamin Mosley, a 28-year-old firefighter. He was shoveling coal in the tunnel when it collapsed. He was badly burned with broken teeth when he escaped, and later died from his injuries in the hospital. Facts haven't stopped the legend of Hollywood Cemetery and the still favorite haunt for ghost hunters, by which I mean teenagers looking to have a little bejesus scared out of hell out of. So, ALLTTF.
what's up,
But yeah.
Milan? Anybody else who just came in?
So that one they say it's still an urban legend, but it's actually somebody that was badly burned that people thought was a vampire. Or so they say. Number 5 is the Beale Treasure in Bedford County, which is crazy because that's legit 30 minutes away from North Dakota.
About 15 for me.
Yeah. Well, sometime around 1819 to 1821, Bill buried the treasure estimated to be worth millions in Bedford County, which is now the site of Johnson Orchard. After burying the treasure, Bill and his party set out to another expedition. Knowing their trip would be dangerous, Bill left 3 coded messages in a lockbox with Robert Morris of Lynchburg. Bill made Morris promise that he would keep the key that Bill would mail him later in a later date to decipher the code if 10 years passed with no word from Bill or his men. The first code contained the treasure exact location. The second code described the contents, and the third named a member of Bill's 30-member party with their kin next to kin. Well, 10 years came and went, and the key never arrived. To date, only the second cipher had been broken, and the treasure whereabouts remains a mystery. So, Dakota, I think one weekend, me, you, Shane, Rob, we need to get together and go camping and try to find this treasure.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Because Bedford County is legit where
Yeah,
I lived in
it's like
Bedford.
it's literally the next county over from me.
Yeah, I
Like,
lived in Bedford
literally.
for a while. But yeah, guys, sorry, we kind of winging this. So I'm just trying to.
Yeah. We would have had it done a long time ago. Freaking things coming up left and right.
There we go. The next one I've never heard of. It's called the Evington's Lost Locomotive, the Gorilla Train. I've never heard of this one until today when I was looking it up. And apparently, this is hands down, absolutely 100% my favorite story. The story goes that in 1952, a Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus train derailed in Evington, which is legit
Yeah.
20 minutes top from my house.
Yeah.
Just
I've
outside
been to
of
Edmonton
Lynchburg.
many times.
35 gorillas escaped, and although they were hunted, none of them were ever recovered. Supposedly, they live in the woods in and around Campbell County for the next 30 years or so, where they monkeyed around with the locals, harassing family pets, stealing from gardens and peeking in windows. The thing is, I grew up in Campbell County.
Heck, yeah. We're in Campbell County as we speak.
Yeah,
I'd take a monkey, gorilla as a pet. Why not?
I lived in Campbell County from 1995.
Well, I'll take the gorilla to
Over 20
66.
years.
Get a spirit attached to it and bring it back.
But the last reported gorilla-related antics were in 1981. Only one picture exists from 1967 where Horace Dumblow caught one of the gorillas posing like the thanker on his roof. Unfortunately, the photo wasn't available to post here. But I've never heard of that one, and that's crazy because I'm like,
And that's literally.
at
I take a right, take another right, and I'm in freaking Evington. Like, what, 10 minutes at the latest?
hey, Second Star does all these.
I'm glad you do, because I ain't never heard of a single one except Seven Gates and a top one, number one. That
Yeah, this
Matt
one,
failed at.
this one is one that I've heard of, and it's called Lover's Leap, a Native American Romeo and Juliet story.
You never heard of that one either?
I've heard of this one. It's at the highest peak above the National Tunnel in Scott County. Is said to have gotten its name from a young Shawnee Brave and a Cherokee girl were forbidden to marry. Their tribal differences kept them apart in life, so they took blasted the Mosetian style leap to their death from the peak into the gore below. Whether it's true or not, but it is still an urban legend in Patrick County at the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it's a Native American Romeo and Juliet story. So that would be a cool one to go
Yeah.
check. It's legit. Maybe
Does it say where that one's at?
I'm pretty sure it's Patrick County.
Patrick County.
Hey, Carol. And number two, the Beast of Gum Hill, Bigfoot on the loose. Matt, you'll like this one.
Tell you right now, this one is probably one of the most scariest I've heard of.
Oh, you've heard of this one too?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, a February 2012 episode of the Animals Planet Finding Bigfoot set out to answer the very question. The Beast of Gum Hill is a local legend in the Saltville area. Supposedly, this enormous tail, hairy figure had been sighted roaming the woods in and around Saltville and Arbington over the years. The eyewitnesses, many of whom came forward in filming, described a large, dark creature that wandered up to them or seen running through the trees. The show ended without any exclusive evidence of Bigfoot in the Virginia hills, but there's no shortage of teams around the county devoted to proving the existence of Bigfoot or Sasquatch. And while most reported sightings came from more rugged mountains of the western part of the county, but who says we don't have our own Bigfoot roaming the hills in southwest Virginia? Or it could be one of the gorillas from Everton. We never know. But that would be a cool one to check out.
Yeah.
All right, and before we get to number one, me and
I'll
Dakota,
tell you right now, we massively failed on this one.
yeah, we failed on this one. Me and Dakota actually went here on Halloween night. It was me, Dakota, his dad, Lucky Seven Scratcher, and Rod. Well, up in Fairfax County, there's this bridge called Buddy Web Bridge. It is the biggest urban legend in Virginia, and it's freaking crazy. And there's a few stories about it. People have done said a few things. Um, One of the stories is in 1904, a recent closed asylum in Clifton was transported inmates to a new facility when one of the transport buses overturned in Fairfax County. Most of the passengers were killed, but 10 escaped. All but two were found: Douglas J. Grifton and Marcus Walster. Soon after, locals began filming the remains of hundreds of skinned, half eaten rabbits hanging from a tree. When Walter's body was eventually discovered with a crude, homemade hatchet in hand, hanging at the Fairfax Station Bridge where me and Dakota went, officials believed they had found their culprit and the dead bunny rampage would stop. No such luck. In the years that followed, dead rabbits appeared periodically as the legend tells. An unspecific number of bodies have been found hanging from the bridge every Halloween, the approximate time of the crash. Most often, the victim were teenagers looking for a haunt of what is now known as Bunnyman Bridge. The latest report incident was in 1987, but you know more, please let me know, especially if you have proof that this is
Yep.
just.
I can tell you about the 1987.
Yeah,
So
Dakota.
back in 1987, these group of guys went to drive down this road and stop at the bridge. Well, when they stopped their car, turned off their lights, they got out and explored the bridge, and they reported seeing the half bunnies in the trees. And when they got back to their vehicle, they turned on their headlights, and out their rear view mirror, they saw this man dressed in a bunny costume with a hatchet running after them.
Yep.
And it actually came in contact with their vehicle. They got out, they seen the bunny man run behind them, make contact with the vehicle, and all of a sudden he had disappeared. They got out, there were scratch marks all over the back of the car, and a lot of crazy things. When they got back in the car would not start, and the bunny man once again appeared right in front of them. They turned around and drove off as fast as they could.
And there's another story that a couple went up there to Bunny Man Bridge to make out or whatever, and they had a hatchet burned through their window,
Yeah.
and they looked up and saw a Bunny Man, somebody dressed in the Bunny Man, standing right there in front of them.
Yep. And then they
Went
got the
and
hatchet out the car, threw the hatchet back in the woods, and the Bunny Man had disappeared once again.
yep.
And then
Well,
I read another story where it was after they had left Bunny Man Bridge, like went away from the bridge. About 2 miles up the road from the bridge, there's an intersection. Once they got to that intersection, their car completely shut off, shut down, would not start, would not go. So they got out to fix their car. The car, they got it fixed, it started. They went to make a left-hand turn and it shut completely off again. And all of a sudden, they looked to their left and they seen this man in this bunny costume standing with his hatchet in the woods behind a tree. So they got back in their car. It started up just fine. They looked over again. The bunny man had disappeared and the car went on.
yep. There's a bunch of different stories about Bunny Man Bridge, and I believe in them
Oh,
because
yeah.
me and Dakota went there Halloween night, and there were 4 cop cars with 2
Yeah.
cops
That
each.
stupid cop told us there was nothing there.
Yeah, he laughed at us pretty much. He was like, "There ain't nothing here."
But guys, I think we're gonna head up, do a panel for a little bit. So if y'all want to come up, then y'all are more than welcome to. Nubz has dropped the link, I do believe.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So if anybody wants to come up, ask us questions, or tell us any urban legends of Virginia and West Virginia. Oh, I knew you were gonna come up. Second star,
What's up, brother?
Daddy.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, Daddy?
Hey, man, what's up?
Oh no.
So what y'all think
Yeah,
about
it's,
the first urban legend podcast thing?
I like
Pretty
it,
cool.
bro.
Yeah?
Some of them you knew about,
beast,
huh?
the beast of Gum,
Gum Hill.
whatever. Yeah, Gum Hill. I've went up there and I've hunted that creature, and people say that it's a Sasquatch. People say that it's a dog man. People don't know what it truly is out there, but a lot of people also say it's, gorillas from that train wreck. I mean, because that's the exact same. Well, that's the exact same train that wrecked in Louisiana, and over 150 mandrills was set loose in Louisiana. Like, still to this day, there's people in Louisiana that will go squirrel hunting and shoot up in a tree to get a squirrel, and a monkey will fall out of the tree that they shot a monkey.
Nice.
So,
Interesting.
yeah. But y'all also have a dogman urban legend out there.
I think I may have heard of that, maybe.
Yeah, it's the beast of something. Crap. It's a part of the Triangle counties.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like this dog man hunts each one of the counties in the Triangle. Like he's seen there. Like he's been seen since the 20s out there. So
Nice.
I mean that's another thing you could look up too.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad this is good. Like, we're gonna be doing North Carolina and South Carolina next week.
Oh, I could help y'all with that.
Nah.
North Carolina was my next door neighbor growing up. So,
You was in
and I can help
Tennessee.
you with all the Tennessee legends.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I was on the Shenandoah Trail with my family a couple of years back.
I'm
So,
gonna do Missouri sooner or later. I'm gonna do the
huh?
whole East Coast, and then I'm gonna work my way over. We're gonna do the
Oh
East
yeah.
Coast first, and then everything else.
I went
All
to
right, yeah, that sounds good.
Manassas
Like,
to the battlefields over there. So that was
Yeah,
pretty cool. But like I swear to God, the further me and my parents went into the woods, I swear to God, I was hearing cannons go off. I was like, what in the world? It was weird.
right.
yeah, Chris. That's part of the legend of it. That's actually I meant to say that's another part of the urban legend. And
Yeah,
Bunny Man Bridge, it was just somebody dressed in a costume throwing hats at the people.
I've heard
yeah.
of that.
I can help you with the Fort Oglethorpe, like all the Georgia legends. I can help you with some of the Alabama legends. You
Oh,
know, that I
cool.
traveled all those states, so with all my cryptid hunting and every other kind of hunting I did.
Oh, hunting. I thought you were saying honey. I was like, oh, wait. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm deaf. Sorry, dude.
Oh, you're good. You're good, Patty.
Thanks,
If you
man.
need me to speak up more, I can.
No, you're fine. It's
Okay.
just, yeah, you're
Are
good.
you back home yet?
Who, me? Nah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm back home, but no water.
Yeah, I know Texas has the Goatman Bridge.
Yeah, we have the Goatman Bridge. We also have the child the children's railroad track, where if you go if you park on the railroad tracks and you take off your parking brake, like if you just hold the brake, the there and you put powder like flour on the back of your the trunk of your car,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
you'll people have seen like tiny little handprints from the children that got hit on that railroad track. Okay, the story goes there was a school bus full of kids one winter, and they got stuck on the railroad tracks, and the train came through, and they couldn't get off the tracks. So the train crashed through and killed all the kids and the bus driver. And now, if you go and park on the railroad tracks and you release the brake off your car and put powder on the trunk of your car, you will get pushed off the railroad tracks onto the other side of the road, and you'll see like 20 or 30 little handprints on the back of your trunk. I've done it, and it's happened.
See, the first time
I
I
do
went
it.
through 666 and Appomattox, the first
Mm-hmm.
666 I went to, we just drove, and this was like before I did YouTube. We were just driving, and
Yeah.
we had the van door open, and I was looking out the window, the door, and I saw something like shadowy figure just running towards us. So we speeded up, get back home, look on the back, handprints all over the back of the window, like,
Yeah.
and it was like
Well,
baby handprints.
there's a story about old Green Eyes in Chattanooga. Well, not Chattanooga, but Fort Oglethorpe,
Yes, we were
Georgia,
talking
at
about
the
that.
battlefield. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. I'm talking about it right now. Yeah. Uh,
Yes.
um. Well, Green Eyes. Okay. The story behind Green Eyes is there's a place called Wilder's Tower, General Wilder, and the fort was made as an old European castle. And when the Southerners went to battle with the Northerners. The Southerners won the war, but at the end, before Wilder got killed, he said, "Curse all your bloodline. I hope the darkest and most vile demons raise from the underground and devour your souls."
I heard of that.
And yeah, and he literally tried to kill himself. He tried to slit his wrist to die, so they couldn't take him prisoner. And with that first spray of blood and everything, supposedly after the battle, people have reported seeing a tall, 6 to 7 foot tall, like anorexic, green skinned, green eye creature devouring on Southern soldiers' bodies on the battlefield. And the east wing, the east tower of that place is still up, and that's the last bit of that fortification that's around. And there's been satanic cults up there that has done blood rituals. There's people that's went up to the very top and committed suicide off of that tower. And that's just powering this demon even more. And well, when I was 17, almost 18, I had my driver's license, and my girlfriend at the time, she went, okay, because the battlefield is an active road, and you can drive through the battlefield any time of the night. And well, there's a legend where there's a fork in the road past Wilder's Tower.
What up, Peely?
And
Peely.
What's up, Elvin?
What's going on, man? Continue the story.
Not much.
How's it going, Dakota?
If you go left at midnight, your car and all your electronics will shut off. And if you go right, that's the correct way to get out of there, and nothing will happen to your car. Well, me and my girlfriend at the time, we were driving, and I forgot which way we were supposed to go. Well, she said when we drove by Wilder's Tower, she's like, "Is that a gargoyle or something sitting on that tower?" And I was like, "I don't know." And she's like, "Well, it's hunched over, on the top of the tower." And so we got to the fork in the road, and I turned left instead of right. And when I turned left, we got probably about 5 feet down the road, and the car completely shut off. And I'm sitting there trying to start the car back up, and she said, oh my God, that gargoyle just jumped off the top of that tower and is coming towards us." And I looked in the rear view mirror, and all I saw was this tall figure running towards us with glowing green eyes that looked like hellfire. And it started picking up pace and running towards us. And I'm sitting there, I'm trying to get the car started. And it probably got maybe 20 to 30 feet away from the car. And my car finally started. And we got the hell out of there before it could even touch the car. So,
a second.
Yes.
It's a sling blade.
What's up?
Hey, I'm originally from. Well, my real name is actually Carl, but I had changed it to Sling Blade. But I'm originally from Chattanooga.
Nice, brother.
And I still have family up there, and I have family that lived in Fort Oglethorpe as well. So I went to see my aunt in Fort Oglethorpe, and I was heading back to Chattanooga to my grandmother's house. That's where I was staying. I wanted to visit and all. Yeah. And well, I thought, what the heck? I always wanted to go through the battlefield at night.
Right.
And it was a nice night, and I didn't have air conditioning in my car, so in my truck, so I was doing
the windows down.
WD 40, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Windows down at 40 miles an hour. So
Yep.
anyways, I drove. I was on. This was late at night, and I was like the only vehicle on the road. I was like,
Yeah.
so I dropped it. I dropped it down to about third gear. At third gear, and I just slowly crawled through there on the main
Yeah.
stretch right through the park, middle of the park,
Yeah.
and I was listening as careful as I could, and all of a sudden, was I heard a couple of cannon fires, muskets, and
Mm-hmm.
then I heard the rebel yell,
Yep. That's
and
They also say there's a ghost platoon or a ghost army that goes through there, and they're still reliving the battle.
Mm.
Like,
oh yeah,
yeah. I mean,
I've heard
a lot.
stories. I've heard stories.
Yeah.
During the battle, it was such a bloody battle
Yep.
at Chickamauga, and they said that the creeks literally ran red, and it was nothing but blood running down the creeks.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say.
I've heard stories
Oh, go
where the
ahead, brother.
creeks, even the creeks, will run red.
Yeah.
Where is
Bloody
this?
Pond.
Sling Blade.
At
Carl,
Chickamauga
where is it?
Battlefield in Fort Oglethorpe.
Oh, okay.
It's called Chickamauga Battlefield.
Yeah.
I'll look that up, yeah.
But
Mhm.
they have a specific hole that's still there. It's called Bloody Pond. And
Uh-huh.
Bloody Pond was okay. Bloody Pond was like the last stop for Union and Confederate soldiers that could not be saved on the battlefield. So they would
Mhm.
crawl to this pond to get the last drinks of water before they died or bled out. And there
Mhm.
was so many. They said that there was over 500 bodies that was at this at this like little lake.
Yeah.
That was drinking the water and everything, but the water was so tainted with blood that the other soldiers couldn't drink out of it.
Yeah.
And
What happens if you take
every night at
Sorry.
Oh fuck! I can't unplug my phone.
Oh, but every night at midnight, if it's rained or anything and filled up the bloody pond, at midnight you'll see a red tent in the water, and you'll hear
Yeah.
people moaning. You'll hear people
Mhm.
crying for help. Yeah, like
I've heard
you'll
that.
even see. Yeah, some people say that there's soldiers that would crawl right by them going to Bloody Pond and not even pay attention that there's somebody standing there. Like they're just walking through, like crawling to get a last drink of water.
I
mean,
really want to go back. I don't know how long it will be before I can go back to Chattanooga, because it's all this crap going on and all. But
yeah,
as soon as I can, I want to go back, and I want to go back up there and go at night.
hey,
Again.
holler at me, brother, and I'll meet you there.
How far
Because I
are
still
you?
got
Close?
family and everything in Chattanooga too.
One day, I'll definitely, I'll look you up on YouTube. But hey, is your Twitter on YouTube?
Yeah. It's at Survival Star, I think.
Okay.
Is that right, Nubs?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm
All right, I
not
was gonna
good
say-
with the other platforms yet.
Well, if you got Twitter on your YouTube, where it's in the links in your bio on your YouTube channel, I'll click it and I'll add you, and
Okay.
just add me back,
Cool.
and we'll stay in touch. That'd be cool, man.
Brother?
It's some really interesting stuff up there. I love it,
Oh yeah.
and it's not just not Chickamauga alone. There's so much more,
Yeah,
and
yeah, there's so many. There's more paranormal stuff, like Missionary Ridge. in
definitely.
Chattanooga.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Oh
that
gosh.
place.
Lookout Mountain.
Yeah, yeah. Like you can still hear people. Like I've been camping on the areas that had the battles, and I've heard people yelling at me. I've heard people, crying,
Mm-hmm.
praying,
Mm-hmm.
everything. It's
My
just
dad was
like
in.
us, they
Yeah.
they had that.
My dad was in the Boy Scouts,
Yeah,
and they camped out there, and some of my uncles they
yep,
camped out there on the battlefield,
yeah,
and they said they could hear things. Now,
yeah.
um, now I did say not in Chickamauga, but I did reenactment over here in South Carolina,
Right.
and I did it. Have you ever heard of Little Rivers Bridge?
Yes, but I've never been there.
I did my reenactment, but the coolest part was the group that I was in was the Second Georgia.
Nice.
That yes, and the thing is, the really cool part is my I forgot how many grades there is to it, but
Yeah.
my family member was in the Second Georgia.
Really?
Yes, and he died at
Nice.
Rivers Bridge. And the bad part is, and it was one of them that was I think it was great uncles, and the bad part was it was truly brother against brother.
Yeah. Yeah,
Good
it
song.
was.
Yeah.
So my one uncle was on the south, and one was on the north side, and
Yep.
they fought each other, and they both died at that battle.
That, that was one of the saddest.
It's right.
I don't know. Just the whole war in general was a sad part of our history. But
It's
because
it's
literally, like what you said, it was family against family. Uncle
yeah,
against nephew, like
brother against brother.
cousin against cousin, brother against brother. Yeah, like
It could,
I'm on.
but yeah,
Hey,
I mean,
sis.
some of them places are just so cool to go to. Um,
yeah,
now I live. I'm in Augusta, Georgia now,
Yeah.
and we actually have some pretty cool places down here.
I know it's got 4% alcohol in it.
We have the Confederate Powder Works down here. What used to be the Confederate Powder Works.
That's from my
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Well, Sherman went around us. Supposedly, he was supposed to be coming here trying to destroy Augusta to take the powder mills, but he went around the other
Yeah,
way. And just on the other side of the river, there was a battle there
But you threw the other ones away.
over in South Carolina.
yeah,
Because he was marching his way to Savannah, so they had stops, and there was a couple of not really battles, but scrimmages along the way.
yeah,
And I've been around some of the areas that they had the scrimmages. I'd love to do them too, but they said that the old mill, the
Here's the
powder works
hand-
was torn down, and they built a mill up out in its place, and they had actually say that place is really haunted. And
I
said
heard
some
the
of the people
same
that
exact
died in the
story.
mill.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Just like in McDonald, Georgia, there was
Mm-hmm.
a flour mill in McDonald, Georgia, and that's where my grandparents lived. And
Yeah.
that one flour mill made all the hardtack and everything for the Southern soldiers, right? And supposedly, what happened was all those giant sacks of flour and everything. Because if it's in a confined space,
I
the
was fixing to
dust
say
and
it
everything.
exploded, didn't it?
Yeah, it exploded.
The
Somebody lit up a cigarette and blew up the whole entire thing. It was either a cigarette or their pipe, and yeah, that blew up. Then it caught the mill and everything on fire. It was like 60 people that died there.
Oh man, I'd go to that. I'd have to go to that area. There's no telling.
Yeah.
What was it? Now of course, like I said, I live in Augusta, so I'm only 2.5 hours away from Savannah.
Right.
And
I've always wanted to go there.
Oh,
Savannah is a beautiful place, Patty.
Oh, and the thing is, though, it's so rich with history, and
yes,
and not only that, but it is one of the most haunted places I've been, because so much happened there.
Yep,
I've been to the Moon River Brewery.
Nice.
It has actually been on, it's been on Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, and all of them. And I went in, and I actually had an experience there. And when you go in the front, you go in the door, you go around the desk, and there's this by the, they got the brewers right there on your left hand side. Then you got to go through this little archway to go in where you actually sit down to eat. Well, most of my family went in. The only ones that were behind me was my dad and my uncle, and I tried to go through the archway, and I could not go through.
Really?
I couldn't go through. It was like a brick wall in front of me. It was a wall of energy right there in front of me. And I couldn't go through. And my uncle sitting behind me, it's like, you got to go. Come on, they're waiting on us. Go. I said, I can't go. It won't let me. Right. And as much as hard as finally I backed up a little bit, and I just had to just put, every ounce of energy in me to just push through that wall. And finally, I could literally feel it tearing from my head down. I could feel it just splitting in half and tearing as I go through it. And, but yeah, that's the coolest experience I've ever had there. But, you walk through the garden, you walk through the court, the squares, and you can you can feel the energy there, and especially down by the river, close to the river, where they had the tunnels that would come out there by the river, and coming from like the pirate's house and all that, where they shanghaied everybody. The pirates would shanghai everybody. So, and they say that the pirate's house is pretty well haunted as well. But yeah, there's not an ounce of place to go in. There's nowhere in Savannah you can go that's not haunted. Nowhere.
Right.
It's everywhere you go, it's haunted.
Yeah. I do security work and everything, and before I moved out here to Texas, I used to be the main security guard at the Savannah Memorial Cemetery. And that
has a demon in it.
Well, I never experienced the demon of that area, but yeah, it's supposed to have that. But there's a small little church in the middle of it. This graveyard's been through, before the Civil War, after the Civil War. Oh,
you're looking at 1700s. Everything. Yeah, that's like 1700s.
And they have this like little church that's in the middle of it. And every night at 2 a.m., that thing would look like you went to a rave. All the lights and everything would be continuously flashing on and off. It would be, you would hear people screaming, people cussing each other. Then when you walk into it, it would go quiet and the lights would turn on. But then you would hear like little children with bare feet, because it has marble flooring in it. And you would hear little kids with bare feet running around on the marble floor, like skin slapping, the marble floor.
Right.
And every time I went in there, I lost over 15 pairs of handcuffs because those kids would steal my handcuffs all the time. And I would never feel anything touch me or nothing. They would just be gone. Like the buckle would be unbuckled and my handcuffs would just be gone.
Yeah, I've walked by
And
that cemetery late at night one time. I had to stay in Savannah for a youth retreat, and
yeah,
we walked by that cemetery, and it was it was pretty late at night. I think it was like 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and
right.
nobody, a lot of them didn't want to do it, but we was like, oh, come on. So, we want, a few of us did want to go. We outnumbered the ones that didn't want to go. So we had to do it. And they were just, they were walking as fast as they could past that cemetery. And we were standing there at the wall, at the fence, trying to see
Yeah.
what could we see. But you could definitely feel there was something very evil in that cemetery.
My bad.
Yeah, in the what is it called? It was called the North Fort of the Savannah Cemetery, and that's where all the a lot of the Civil War soldiers were buried. And that has a heavy like when you walk into that area, you feel depression and sadness. Like you just like
I do that when I walk through Savannah, period.
Yeah, like you kind of get like suicidal feelings walking in there.
Yes,
because it's so sad.
It's very depressing, and it's just so
Wait, where is this?
Especially by that cemetery.
In the Savannah Memorial Cemetery, Patty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the biggest cemetery in Savannah.
Yeah, it almost takes up a whole, almost like at least two squares, isn't it?
Or
bigger.
I've been to Gettysburg before, and the whole vibe of the place
nice.
So weird.
Nice.
Yeah.
Even
my mom, who's a skeptic for the most part, she's like, I don't know, it just something felt off, even for my mom. So.
Right. Yeah.
I tell you.
Oh, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
That fort that's right there. It's on your way to Tybee Island. That's
yes.
Whole interesting place.
Yes. What is it?
That's a revolutionary fort too. At that.
Yes, it is. There's also the Fort St. Augustine.
Oh,
I want to say.
Yeah,
St. Augustine is really, really haunted. Like
so is Sumter in Charleston.
Yes.
That's another place. That's like 3 hours for me.
I've been there.
It's pretty heavy.
You done that, Patty?
No, I've just been there. I hit a couple battlefields with my mom and dad before because my dad is a huge history buff. So he likes going to all the battlefields, but he actually believes in ghosts too. So
okay.
Kind of
if you want to go someplace, and you want to feel depression, sadness, and everything there is, you want to feel it. Go to the Andersonville prison.
Oh my God! Yeah, I've heard that.
I've been there a few times, and it is the most. You can't help when you walk there. You actually start picturing all this, all these guys just there, and just all these little pup tents and made from blankets or
Yeah.
whatever, and you cannot stop the feeling of dread and depression, sadness, and every emotion that there is trapped in there. There's so much
Yeah.
bad stuff that happened between, they had guys that were
too.
they. I don't know if
Yeah.
y'all. I don't know, Pay. I don't know if you ever heard of the Raiders.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
they were a group of got misfits, and
Yeah.
what they would do is when the new guys come in, they would have all their gear with them, and they would have scraps of food that were left in their their packs and stuff. And the Raiders would come up acting all nice and stuff to them. And the famous saying was they called the new people fresh fish.
Yeah.
And what they would do is they go up nice to them and say, "Hey, you don't want to go over there in that area. That's bad. That's bad. Why don't you come over here with us? We're gonna take care of you. We'll watch out for you and all that." And as soon as they get close, all of a sudden they would surround them, and they would have clubs and everything, and they would beat them and steal everything they had, banjos, you name it. They took their shoes, they took their
Mhm.
clothes, they even took their clothes sometimes, and
Yeah.
and stuff, and or they would actually go through the camp and actually just attack groups in the camp and just take whatever they wanted from them. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like I said, you want to feel the emotions of every emotion that there is. Go there, and I would love. Oh my
Well,
That's
God,
there's
not
a
my idea of
if
a good time.
yeah.
you could
Well,
do a spirit
there's
box there.
also a place on Missionary Ridge that at first it was a Southern concentration camp, pretty much. It was a prisoner camp for Southern soldiers,
Mm-hmm.
and they were starved to death. They were beat, to an inch of their life. They had to survive on field mice if they could get it, squirrels, whatever. Then, after the Civil War, that place was still there, and to erase it from history, they turned it into a tuberculosis hospital. So, on top of it being, a prison camp, to be turned into a tuberculosis camp, to be sitting there in pain, and half the
Oh yeah.
people that lived there, it was overcrowded. It was, they didn't have the best health care. Like, they didn't have any good health workers, and a lot of the patients there were put on guinea pig trials for like
Oh yeah.
medication and new, research. And
Yep.
that that place, they were overcrowded. I think it was like they had like 7 people to one 5x5 room.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I mean, and that area, there's still some buildings left of the tuberculosis hospital. Um, and you can't really get in there unless you know the way through the woods to get there, because they have a private security company that guards it. But just
You gotta
going
know
there,
somebody to be able to go up there.
yeah, like there's only a
Mhm.
handful of people that have been able to go up there, and like that place is horrible. Like, I mean, depression, sadness, anger, everything
Oh,
coming from
just
that
like
area.
just like the prison. I tell you what though, I would hate to try to even remotely do a spirit box at like Andersonville or even there, because Oh, you couldn't hear anything because it was just be so many voices. I mean, that place,
Yeah.
they got to the point, Andersonville prison got to the point where they were marking the graves, but then it got to the
Yeah.
point where it was they were dying like 10, 15, 20,000 a a day or a week. And they just
Right.
what they did was they just dug a big huge trench, put everybody in it,
Yeah.
and just covered it up. And
Yeah.
also they have
It,
tons of unmarked mass graves out there, and
yeah.
because it was originally it was only
Well,
supposed to
that's the
hold
same
like
thing as
I think was it
the
two
insane
thousand
asylum out
people.
here.
Mm.
Yeah. Like there's an insane asylum out here in San Antonio that they had a coal mine and a coal processing factory with this insane asylum, and
Mm-hmm.
for the poor that couldn't afford the rooms or afford the stay, they made those inmates work at the coal mine and like the coal processing factory and everything to earn their keep.
Yeah,
And whoever got black lung or whatever, there's I want to say there's about 200 bodies on that land that was just buried. Like they didn't
yeah,
even all they put on the grave marker was a list of their cell numbers.
mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't even give them their name. It was just their cell number.
Mm.
Yeah. But I mean, we can't get over the sins of our past.
Yeah,
It's horrible. But if we didn't have bad things happen in our past,
Mm.
what would we do as paranormal hunters or whatever?
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
most of the places are battlefields or insane asylums or even hospitals.
Mm.
It's sad to say it, but without that dark history, we would have nothing to literally research.
oh yeah,
Yeah. You want to know an interesting fact? Um,
Yeah, Patty.
I believe the Pentos Asylum closed down right after I was born. Yeah, back in '84, I believe. Did it? When did it close down? I forget.
Uh, I don't know off the top of my head, sis.
I think it
that's a
like
cool point. That'd be a cool
closed
place to go
a little before or after, but
Yeah,
I remember um, you know, reading about it. And I was like, people like me, if I was born a few years earlier, I could have easily been in there, but thank God for my parents. They're like, hell no. So,
right.
I'd like to go to that place
no,
one day.
hell no. My child's going to be normal. So,
I'd like
Hey,
to go there. And
yeah,
now,
I'm glad.
there's another place. Uh, my granddad was from Mansfield, Ohio,
Yeah,
and that's the Mansfield, the prison there.
yeah, I've heard about that place.
That place is huge, and they say
Yes.
it's nasty.
Ohio State Penitentiary or.
No, yeah, it's right there in Mansfield.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's really huge. Like I said, it's really huge, and they say it's really nasty of what's in there.
Mm.
I kind of want to go I want to go to the area in California where during World War II that they held the Japanese citizens of the United States.
Oh yeah, that
And
place. Yes.
yeah, I want to go there, and I also want to go to the closed down state prison in Georgia that they used in The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because even the actors and everything in The Walking Dead said that they had paranormal experiences there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So if they said they had paranormal experiences, I mean that
Mm-hmm.
that makes me want to go.
Oh yeah.
Greg just said the Shawshank Redemption movie was filmed in Mansfield.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, before
Mm-hmm.
me. He's
Yeah.
just
I
good.
I was gonna say I thought it looked familiar.
I know,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Now,
Thanks for saying that, Patty, because I can't see the chat.
Mhm.
what's up? The biggest thing is anywhere it was, sudden death and, uh, between sudden death or a tragic death, like,
Yeah.
battlefields, prisons, and stuff, or even sane asylums or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's going to have a lot of energy trapped there, and
Yeah.
so yeah, definitely. I mean, that's type of places that are cool to go.
Well, you know what's funny? There was a documentary that came out in I want to say 72 about paranormal, like everything paranormal. And there was a guy on there that said that hospitals should be marked off a paranormal hunters list because there is no reason why a hospital should be haunted. And
Oh,
I was like, are you kidding me? Like,
look how many people die in a hospital.
right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I just want to know if that expert is eating his words now.
Oh gosh, that or he just doesn't
Hey,
know what
uh,
they don't know what they're talking about, or
Right.
they're just self proclaimed experts.
Yeah. Yeah. That it
And
was just it shocked me like the stuff that like the stuff that these specialists and everything were saying back then. It's like
hmm oh yeah,
uh
you, some of these people that are like self proclaimed experts or whatever and stuff.
huh.
They're about as good as a self-proclaimed electrician, and you know what happens to self-proclaimed electricians.
Yeah. Oh
well,
Lord.
guys, sorry to end this, but I might be going on a
We're sorry, Nubs.
No,
We're sorry.
You good. I might be
We,
going
Yeah,
we
I
took
would say
over your stream.
I'm
yeah,
gonna go
sorry,
get ready
Nubs.
for this adventure, but thanks to everybody for coming. Everybody in the chat on panel. Glad y'all enjoyed. Next Tuesday.
Always,
Hey,
brother.
yeah,
Next
thanks for
Tuesday
letting us
will be
explain stuff.
oh yeah. Next
Tell
Tuesday
Yeah.
we'll
stories.
do North and South Carolina on Dakota's panel at 8 p.m.
Sounds good.
Hey,
Love
Nubs,
you, Nubby.
Love y'all
hey,
too.
hey,
Bye
Nubs,
everybody.
Nubs, you need to do this again and let